Okay, so today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going through all of my makeup products in a particular category, and that category today is face. So I did this, I think about 2 years ago. I think I did this in 2020, because recently I saw in my phone, like my Apple Photos as memories, like I saw that 2 years ago I'd done my collection videos, and so I thought it's been 2 years. My collection that I saw in those pictures is totally different now. I have like pretty much all different products, and so I thought I would take you through an updated version of each category in my makeup collection. So I did combine all of the face products like concealer, powder, and foundation into one video, and that's going to be this one. And then I'm going to do a separate video all of my bronzers. I'm doing a separate one all of my blushes. I'll do a separate one of all of my highlighters. I may or may not do a palettes one at the end of this. That might be a really bonkers long video. Or I may do a palettes video split into two parts. But yeah, I'll do palettes. I won't do lips because that is like an insane amount of lip products. And honestly, my lip collection hasn't changed that much since I did these videos last time. But I will do an updated palettes one, I'm thinking. Will I? No, I feel like my palettes are the same. I think I'll just do face products because that's something I really churn through. In my makeup collection, I use up face products a lot, whereas my lip products and my eyeshadow products, they're kind of a little bit more consistent for me and they kind of stay around for a while in my collection. And so even though they are quite exciting to look at, I don't think I'll do an updated version of like, and this eyeshadow palette and this because they're all going to be the same palettes that I showed you last time. I will do eventually a drawer by drawer collection video showing you each of my drawers in my makeup collection and talking you through what's in each drawer. So you can see all my palettes and my lipsticks probably a little easier and in a more exciting way in those videos anyway. I'm going to get started with the face-based products, and I'm going to go through primers first. I have 4 primers in my collection, and they are, first of all, the MAC Studio Fix mattifying 12-hour shine control primer. I haven't tried this one out yet because it's a little sample that I haven't opened yet because I've been using these other 3 ones instead. The one that I use the most is the NYX Angel Veil primer, and it looks like this. It's the one that I've been going through most. You can see, oops, this is the one I've been like squeezing and stuff. It is a really good primer. It's not like a life-changing primer, honestly. None of these primers have made me feel like I need primer every single time I use makeup, which is why these primers kind of stick around in my collection for a little bit longer, because I'm just not someone that's like using up primers as frequently because they're just not something I reach for every time that I do my makeup. The next one is also from NYX, and this is the Marshmallow Primer. This was really viral on TikTok, and I do think it is a nice primer. It's kind of a more airy and like moussey feeling version of the Angel Veil primer, except that the Marshmallow primer has that obvious marshmallow scent, which is really pleasant. I'm a bit fussy when it comes to the scents of my products, and this fragrance is actually quite nice and not overpowering. It's just a little bit like a fresh marshmallow, and it's not too intense. The last primer I have is more like, you know, when you think of a primer that's really like got that slip to it, this is one of those more like silicone feeling primers. It's such a classic though, and this is the Professional from Benefit. Everyone knows this primer. It's such a classic. Even the packaging is so cute. And Benefit has come out with so many variations of this primer because this is such a classic go-to primer, and I just think it is a really nice high-end primer that goes for a really intense it just gives a lot of like, I don't want to say coverage, but like texture removing. It just smooths everything else out. So I do think it is a really nice one. Also the packaging, it's like that soft nails kind of feeling, like soft rubberized like soft matte kind of texture. It's really nice. Okay, let's go into concealers. I have 3 concealers in my collection at the moment, and they are all from the drugstore. The first one is the L'Oreal Infallible More Than Concealer, and this is the concealer that I'm currently wearing under my eyes, and I am wearing the shade 326 Vanilla. It's a really nice one. It has that L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear kind of scent, so it does smell like the other L'Oreal Infallible products. I think that the scent is nice. I don't think it's too much. It's just like fresh. And it's a really good high coverage concealer, and I also like the applicator. Let me show you. It's a nice chunky doe foot applicator. This is a little bit of a lighter concealer on my skin tone, so I prefer to wear this one when I'm going for a more full coverage or more of a sculpted day. The other one that I have that's also in that same kind of vein is from Rimmel, and this is the Multitasker Concealer, and this is kind of Rimmel's equivalent to this concealer. As you can see, even the packaging is very similar, and they kind of serve a similar role in my makeup collection. So this one, again, has a very nice thick doe foot applicator. This one's a little bit of a creamier texture, whereas that one dries down a little faster, if that makes sense, or it's like a drier consistency. This one's a little bit of a wetter consistency. just has like a normal concealer scent. It doesn't have any particular fresh scent or anything. It's just like creamy concealer scent. It's a good concealer. This one again is like a bit of a light shade for my skin tone. So it serves like a very brightening function. And I wear the shade 020 or 20 Fair. So yeah, I got the shade Fair in there. Honestly, I could have gone darker shades in both of these, but at the time I was like, let's get a really brightening one. So, and also more importantly than the shade, because I feel like, well, more importantly than the like lightness or darkness of a concealer, because you can always blend it out at the end. The tone really matters to me. I'd rather get a concealer with a nice like yellowy or neutral undertone, because I'm more of like neutral to yellow undertones myself. To get a concealer that's too pink, that suits the like darkness of my skin tone perfectly, or like the lightness, if that makes sense. Like it doesn't really matter as much to me, the actual depth of the concealer, as long as it's bright. As long as it's the same color as my face or brighter. It more matters to me that it has the right undertones. And both of these have yellowy undertone or neutral undertone. I feel like this one's more neutral, and the L'Oreal one is a little bit more yellowy. Really like them both. The last one I have is from Maybelline, and this is a cult classic. This is the Instant Age Rewind Concealer, and I wear the shade 100 Ivory. Again, this one has a really good undertone. It's not too pinky for my skin tone, which is something that I struggle with, particularly with Maybelline products, is finding concealers and foundations from their range that is the correct undertone for my skin tone, without being too dark. This one is really nice. I feel like they have a really good shade range when it comes to the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind concealers. The only thing I don't love about this is the doe foot applicator on this. I feel like it's like dirty because it's a sponge that you use over and over. But then, same thought goes for these, because you're like dipping in over and over using the same doe foot. I just think all of these methods of using concealer are probably not the most hygienic. The most hygienic would probably just to be using a pump, but none of these concealers come with pumps. It is what it is. This is a really nice one. This one is my more like natural concealer, if that makes sense. Like if I'm going for like a no makeup look and I just want to wear just concealer and mascara, liner, and brows, this is a concealer I'll reach for. Just melts into the skin a little bit more seamlessly, whereas these other ones that are in this like chunkier packaging, these are a little bit more of a full coverage, whereas this one shears out really nicely. They're all really nice concealers though, and I would like rate all of these. Like I would recommend them all to a friend. Particularly, I feel like this is the one I'm most likely to repurchase actually. Okay, what's next? Let's go in with some foundations. So currently I have 5 foundations in my collection. However, no, I have more than that. I lied. I have 6 foundations. Let's go through each of them. So the ones I've been using the most recently, 7. Oh my gosh, the more I look around me, the more foundations I'm seeing. So the one that I've been using the most recently is this one. This is Lacura's Skin Science Caviar Long Lasting Coverage Foundation and Concealer. Oh, this has a concealer built into it. This is a really nice foundation, but the reason I'm trying to like charge through it recently is because it is my winter skin tone, and I'm definitely not going to be able to pull this off in summer. So I'm hoping to use this up while I'm still at my palest self. It's a really nice foundation. It has the same kind of scent as the rest of the Lacura skin products does. It's a really interesting component. It just kind of opens like that, and there's this spatula in there, and you just kind of scoop out as much product as you want, and you can put it on your back of your hand, on a palette, or sometimes I just go directly on the face. I have the shade 110 Ivory. I'm not sure what the shade range is like on these, because I could only find a couple of shades in store, and I just kind of grabbed the one that I thought was good enough for my skin tone. It's not perfect, honestly. Like, it's lighter than I would have preferred, but at least the undertone's good enough, so it's fine. This is supposed to be kind of like a dupe for a lot of higher end foundations that have skincare benefits in them as well. I think the whole Lacura range, which is from Aldi by the way, is supposed to be kind of duping the La Mer kind of style range, or the La Prairie, or all of those like higher end kind of very expensive skincare foundations and face creams. I've been using this in conjunction recently with the matching day cream and night cream, and the night cream especially is incredible. My skin has literally never felt softer since I started using the Lacura night cream. It's actually like next level, and I do see why it's like a dupe for the La Mer products, because it is so affordable. I think that night cream was like $20, and it is amazing. I really do rate it, and I have been enjoying the foundation, but it's just not as like write home and tell your friends as the actual face cream is. The actual face cream is amazing. Okay, I have 2 products that I'm going to whiz through really quickly because I'm not actually in these yet. I haven't opened these, but these are both Bourjois Healthy Mix foundations. I bought these yonks ago, but I haven't even broken the seal and opened these up yet, so they're still like fresh and untouched. It's because I've been using other things, and I've been saving these for a special occasion. Not a special occasion, but like an occasion when I'm in a real pinch, none of my foundations are working out for me, and I need my holy grail. These are my holy grails. So I have the Bourjois Healthy Mix Anti-Fatigue Foundation. And then I have the Bourjois Healthy Mix Gel Foundation with 16-hour radiance boosting, even revived complexion. So both of these are in the shade 52 Vanilla, which is literally my perfect skin tone match. These work perfectly for me in summer and winter. They just perfect, 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 perfect. I really rate these. These are a repurchase. If I use these up, I would repurchase them again. They're not the most affordable brand in Australia. Bourjois is kind of a little bit more of an expensive brand here. Not like expensive like high end, but it's available at the drugstore. But it's not as affordable as like Maybelline is at the drugstore. So that's why I say they're a little bit more of a pricey brand, and kind of also why I hold off from using them, because they're just like a little bit more of an expensive foundation for my personal foundation usage. Usually, as you can tell, a lot of my foundations and these base products generally going to be drugstore, just because I am on that drugstore foundation budget. The next thing I want to talk about is a Maybelline Fit Me Tinted Moisturizer that I honestly don't like. I got the shade 220 because typically with Maybelline face products, I was getting a shade 120 previously because I felt like it suited my skin shade best. But the undertones of it were way too pink, and every time I wore it, just looked off. So the next shade that had my undertones that I was looking for, with that like neutral to warmer toned like yellowy vibes, was going to be the 220. So I got the 220 in this, but I don't think it's perfect for me. Either the tinted moisturizer is just like a little bit too patchy on my skin tone, but it's a tinted moisturizer, or maybe it's because I can really notice where it is clinging to my skin and not clinging to my skin because it's just a touch darker than my actual skin tone. There's something about this really doesn't work for me. So usually I use this as a mixer. So if I have another foundation, for example, this one that's way too light for me, well, not way too light for me, I can pull it off, but a bit light for me, I go in with this one that's a bit dark for me. As you can tell, different colors. So by mixing them together, I can get my perfect skin tone. So yeah, sometimes I have foundations in my collection that are too light or too dark, and they end up being like mixing ones. And this is what these two are typically for. Although I can wear them both individually by themselves separately if I really want to. It's not as seamless. Okay, next I want to talk about this one, which is a tone that definitely works for me and is seamless. This is the L'Oreal True Match Nude Plumping Tinted Serum, and it has 1% pure hyaluronic acid in it, so it's supposed to have like skincare benefits. This is what it looks like. I really like this one. It comes with a dropper applicator, which I really like. All the other ones that I've showed you so far, squeezy applicator, that odd like spatula situation, and then those two Bourjois ones have pumps. This one, this dropper is really nice. It's a glass dropper. It feels very hygienic because I'm not applying the actual like a doe foot or anything directly to my face. It's a great way to get the product out of the bottle. The product is a very like thin and natural looking coverage. It's really nice to be able to sheer it out over the face, and I would definitely rate this kind of version of like a minimal coverage compared to this one. I think that I would always go for the L'Oreal version of the more light coverage. So yeah, this is from their True Match range. I think it's really gorgeous. This tone melts into my actual skin tone really seamlessly. I can build this up to a little bit more coverage if I want to. I can sheer this out and mix it with a moisturizer if I want it to be a tinted moisturizer or a more light coverage. It's just a really, really good plumping tinted serum, and I really rate it. I would repurchase this, except the fact that I do prefer my Bourjois ones even more. But this is really good, and like I would rate this like a 9 out of 10. It'd be nice if it had a cool scent. Honestly, it's almost a 10. This is like a repurchase. If they reformulated this in any way, I would try it again just to try the reformulation. Like, it's not something that I'm going to turn my back on. This is actually a really nice line, and I like all my other L'Oreal True Match stuff as well. Okay, this is the last foundation that's like a liquid foundation, and then I have some like cushion foundations after this. So this is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Matte Cover Foundation, and this is the foundation that I'm currently wearing on my face right now. I'm wearing the shade 135 Radiant Vanilla, and this is like a little bit on the darker side for my comfort zone. It's more of my summer skin tone. Right now, it looks a little odd on me because I am my winter skin tone, so it's not perfect, but this is a really, really gorgeous full coverage foundation. You could probably shoot this out to a medium coverage, but I like to build it up and make a full coverage. This is a long wearing foundation that I can wear all day at a cheer competition. This is a great competition, like full face kind of beat makeup kind of foundation. Great base. Also, when I wear this to the club, it lasts all night. Has a matte finish without being dead matte, and it doesn't feel like it's sucking the life out of my skin. My skin has a little bit of like, not like glow, but like a little bit of a radiance still, so it still looks like skin. It's really nice. It is like a full beat kind of foundation. Like, this is foundation on your face. This is not looking like nothing on your face. Oh, it's so natural. This is a foundation, but in the best way possible, and I really would recommend this if you can find your skin tone. I was lucky because usually my like foundation shade, if it has the word vanilla in it, usually it's going to work for me, because I feel like vanilla is usually like the neutrally warm vibes. I saw the words radiant vanilla and I took a gamble and it was perfect. This is actually a repurchase because I had this previously, and this is the second one I've had because it's just so good. Definitely recommend it. And I will repurchase this once I run out of it, because it's probably my holy grail, like full coverage foundation. Yep, I said it. The best full coverage foundation at the drugstore, in my opinion, is this one. Okay, let's go into my little cushion foundations. I have two. One of them's open and one of them's not. I'm just going to get the unopened one out from the back of my drawer. They're both from Innisfree. And I've only ever tried, I think, Innisfree and Maybelline cushion foundations, but the Innisfree ones are just superior in my opinion. I don't know. So the first one that I have to show you guys is the Innisfree Even Cover BB Cushion, and I have it in the shade N21 Natural Beige. Now this is just a refill because I have a Innisfree compact, let me show you, but it doesn't work. It's so annoying. I bought this compact years ago, like maybe 5 years ago, because I've been in Innisfree. Where is it? It's like in the bottom of this. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, so I've been an Innisfree cushion foundation wearer for years. I started wearing them just out of high school. I went to Taiwan. I'm Taiwanese, by the way. And when I was in Taiwan, I was like, oh, I really want to try one of these cushion foundations because it's like more of an Asian beauty trend, and I'm in an Asian country right now where it's very accessible. So I was like, this is the place to get a cushion foundation. So I bought the Innisfree foundation there, and I've been a fan of the Innisfree cushion foundations ever since. But this is my little case. It's so cute. It's yellow with polka dots. I really love this cute little case. And then you just pop the little button down here, and then there's a mirror. I won't blind you with it. And this is where you typically pop the cushion foundation. And this doesn't fit. I don't know if they changed it. I don't know if they all fit, or if I just got a range that is separate, or is like a not compatible line. Like maybe this is one line that has its own foundations that fit, and maybe this is a different line with a newer case that it fits, or maybe they've discontinued this case, but it doesn't fit. Really annoys me. Anyway, this is my cute little case that never gets to see the light of day because it sits at the bottom of my extras drawer. Anyway, this is in, I already told you that, but yeah, this foundation is nice. It's actually quite a nice fuller coverage. Like, oh, I love the scent of Innisfree foundations. It's kind of like, I'm gonna guess it's a green tree scent, honestly. Green tree. I think green tea is the vibe. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of green tea. And also bubble bath. Oh, it's so nice. It's a really clean scent. I think that this is a really nice foundation. It's a little bit on the lighter side for my skin tone, but I can make it work. It is able to be built up to a nice decent amount of coverage to the point that I feel comfortable, and I really recommend the Innisfree foundations. This is the other one. This is the Dewy Glow BB Cushion, and I got it in the same shade. This one was the Even Cover, so I feel like this is the more coverage one, and I do feel that when I'm applying it, it kind of, I don't want to say cakes on, but it like, it goes onto the skin as more like a layer, whereas I'm guessing that this one is going to be the one that melts into the skin more, because this is the more full coverage, and this is like the lighter coverage, I'm guessing. Ooh, actually, I feel like there was one more concealer that I forgot to add. The Lacura foundation that I was talking about earlier, this also comes with a concealer, and I can't forget to talk about it. By the way, this other foundation cushion from Innisfree, it's in this little thing because I haven't tried it yet, so I don't have a lot to say about it yet because I literally haven't even opened it up yet. I'm sorry. So this is the concealer on the inside of the Lacura like foundation. So it has a little mirror on the inside, which is actually a really decent mirror. Like, it's a very clear mirror that you can see yourself very easily in. And then you have this little kind of like pot style concealer. Not the easiest concealer to use in terms of like, it's not like a doe foot applicator where you can just blend, 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 go. Like you're kind of like scooping it out. And I don't like that just because I don't like to like dip into product. I feel a little like yucky when I do that, but like it's okay. It's not the worst. And you can always spray. I like to spray it with a little bit of alcohol just to sanitize it. It's a nice tone. It matches the foundation really well. It doesn't really have a noticeable scent the way that the foundation does. And the the consistency slash texture of this concealer in here, I don't know if you can see, it's most comparable to other thicker high-end concealers. It is quite a full coverage one, but you can really melt it into the skin to blend it out. I would say the concealer in here is most comparable to the Kevyn Aucoin concealer. 100% is the most comparable thing that I can, like, it's not dead on, but it's so similar. Like, seriously, that's what comes to mind every time I use this. I think of the Kevyn Aucoin one because it's just so similar. So yeah, that is that extra concealer. Let's go into some powders because I have a couple to talk about, and they're all from the same brand because I used up my other ones that weren't from this brand. They're all from Nude by Nature, which is an Australian makeup company. I think it is accessible in other areas of the world, but it's very accessible here in Australia at like every single drugstore you can buy this. So first of all, I have my Nude by Nature Pressed Mineral Cover Light Powder. Now this is more of like a foundation. It's like a powder foundation. It has a mirror in the top, and then it just has this powder. Now, this powder is a little bit dark for my skin tone. As you can tell, it's a little bit darker than what I have on right now even. This will be really nice in summer, and I'm kind of saving it for that just because it's not really going to match my skin tone very nicely right now. It looks a little orange when I wear it. It's just a little bit too tan. But it's really nice in summer when I'm really sweaty. It's like 38 degrees outside in some crazy Australian summer heat. And I pop this on, and like the powderiness of this kind of mattifies the oiliness of my sweaty skin while also combining to be just like a perfect foundation. This provides really decent coverage. This is a high coverage powder. I don't really layer this very often over other foundations because usually a lot of time when I have like a pressed powder that's like got a bit of coverage in it, I'm like, oh, whatever, and I just use that as a powder to set my face with. This is full coverage, and I wouldn't do that because that would be so cakey. This is like coverage. It's really decent. It's not total coverage, but it's pretty full on for a powder. It's probably the best I've had in a powder foundation. Then I have these two loose powders. So the first one is the shade 01 Natural, and this is the Mineral Finishing Veil Translucent Loose Finishing Powder. This is from Nude by Nature. It has this really reflective, gorgeous rose gold lid. You open it up, and it has kind of like a sieve in there. Now, if I can get it to go through the sieve, it kind of has curved base, and then the sieve is kind of like a fabric texture that you can press your brush into to get the powder up, and you can shake out more powder, and the powder can sit on top if you'd like that. It's really easy to use this powder. I really like the design of the component, and this powder is actually the powder that I'm wearing under my eyes right now. It's very seamless. It doesn't add a huge amount of coverage or anything. It just blurs, sets, and does the job. Definitely recommend this. It's really easy to get. This is made in Australia, and I totally rate it. This is kind of like a cult classic brand here. I feel like every Australian girl's first makeup brush like set that they get is the Nude by Nature like drugstore, however many piece brush set it comes in. Like I used their brushes today. It's just like a go-to. It's just like such a classic. I'm not sure how accessible it is in other areas of the world, though, so I'm sorry. The other powder that I have from them is the Natural Mineral Cover Radiant Loose Powder Foundation in the shade W1 Light. So this is a powder foundation, so it has a little bit more coverage. You could wear this as a powder foundation and have a little bit of a sheer coverage, but it's not enough for me. I want a cake on my face. So this I use as a loose powder just for a little bit of coverage when I feel like it. So as you can see, it has a bit of color in it compared to the other one, which was translucent. And this is just the amount of cover that matches my skin tone perfectly. It is a really good shade match. So W1 Light means warm, 1 light. And so I had the lightest warm tone shade from this range. And when I have a foundation that's a little bit too light for me, such as the Lacura one, it's really nice because I can layer this over the top of the Caviar foundation. So this is like my skin tone. This provides the coverage. Combined, I've got my coverage, and I even it out to my skin tone and matches my neck. So this has been my go-to combo recently, and I really, really rate these. And I'm trying to remember that I have the concealer in the top of this because I really don't want to use up all this foundation and then be like working my way through this concealer at the top so slowly because I keep forgetting that I have it in there. But yeah, really do rate this. Oh, actually, one more thing I want to say about the range of the Mineral Translucent Veil Finishing Powder is this actually comes in a range of 4 different shades. So even though it is a translucent powder, it has 4 different shades that you can choose from that are all different different shades of translucent. So one is more of a banana-y shade, one is more of like a pinky undertone. This one I think is like beigey undertone, like neutral, I think. But they do have like an interesting shade range, and I ended up choosing this one because it was the most boring stock standard. I felt like I could use it the most. But if you had a darker undertone to your skin, darker undertone. If you had a darker shade of skin than me, if I was tanner, the yellow one looks really good for like warm undertone people. I'm not really someone who uses a lot of pink stuff because I am not a pinky person, so I can't really speak much on that. But this one and the yellow one look yummy to me. Really rate those. Do I have any more powders to talk about while I'm here? No. Okay, I want to finish off with setting sprays. I wasn't originally going to include setting sprays in this video. Actually, I do have one more powder. I lied. Such an icon. This is the original RCMA no color powder. They have repackaged this since I purchased this years and years ago, but I've stopped using this recently. Not because I don't like it, but because it's my favorite, so I want to save it. So I've been putting this in the back of my drawer just because I want to use up. I'd rather go through these foundation powders. I'd rather use up these powders and go through these and just have this at the back of my drawer for like when I really need it. So, you know, I'm kind of saving it for a special occasion, but kind of not. It's still there and I can always just use it up. There's about like just under half left. How much is that? Like, yeah, I'd say just about half or a third or something left. And I'm really keen to use it up, honestly, but I also don't because at the time I purchased this, it was a little bit harder for it to be found in Australia. Now I know somewhere that I can get it more accessibly. So, you know, maybe I'll just use this up and repurchase it in the new packaging because this is the old packaging where it's like a Parmesan shaker. It's so inconvenient, honestly. But yeah, it's such a good powder. This is Holy Grail. Just smooths the skin, sets everything, flawless, matte, adds nothing. When they say no color powder, this adds nothing to your skin. It just sets it perfect, done, out the door. Baking with this under the eyes, I love this. This got me through all of my clubbing days when I first started like hitting the club when I just turned 18. I wore this in high school. I wore this to uni on my first couple of years of uni. It's just such a good powder and it comes with so much product in it. Like how much product is in here? 3 Oz. That means nothing to me. I don't know how much is in here. Maybe like 14 grams, I'm going to guess. Like a really decent amount of powder. Really, really good one. And had it for ages. So many powders I've like used up and panned and I've seen come and go. This one I hold on to because it's just a good one. It's just a great one to have at the back of my drawer. I pull it out for a special occasion when I need just like the extra perfect one. It's my fave. Okay, let's get into some setting sprays. This one is a Mecca Cosmetica hydrating mist, but it's not really. I actually have used up all the hydrating mist and have refilled this with like a Franken. It's like a Franken setting spray. It's got a bunch of other setting sprays that I've just thrown in here. So goodness knows what's in here, but I have a little mini setting spray that I take with me sometimes. Then I have these two from L'Oreal. So first of all, I have the L'Oreal Shake and Glow Spray Luminous Setting Spray. This is kind of a glowier setting spray, and you can kind of see I have that much left. It's a really nice one, and it kind of has like a fresh scent. That means nothing. Kind of reminds me of like a minty argan oil, if that makes sense. But yes, that is the scent, if that makes sense. Next, I have the L'Oreal Infallible Magic Setting Spray, and this one is definitely a like setting spray. This one's matte. It sets your face. There's not that much product, probably like that much left in here. Really, really good one. I love the whole L'Oreal Infallible range for face base. Tried and true, really, really gorgeous. This one's really nice, but I feel like in general, I prefer a matte finishing spray just because even though a dewy setting spray is really nice, it makes the skin look really glowy and it melts all the makeup together really nicely. It sometimes can just cause a little bit too dewiness to the point that I feel like I'm a little bit like, not tacky, but like it's not as like set down, flawless, run a marathon, go for a swim, hit the club, work a 16-hour shift, and you're all perfect the way this one is, if that makes sense. Like this is just so like bulletproof, and I'm more into that like cakey like kind of vibe, and this gives me that. Similar aesthetic. I know that L'Oreal owns Maybelline, so I feel like these are probably very similar products to the ones that I just showed you. But I have the dewy and matte version of the the Maybelline setting spray. So this is the Maybelline Glass Spray. I haven't used this one as much, honestly, recently, just because I've been using the other ones that I just showed you. But again, this is the same kind of vibe as this one, except I feel like this one is a little bit less dewy and a little bit just glowier, whereas this is a little bit wetter of a finish. This one leaves your skin looking a little bit glossy, if anything. It's not bad though. It's not like, ew, my skin is like goopy and glossy. It's fine. But this one is like a little bit of a lighter dew. Now, this one is the Maybelline Lasting Fix Makeup Setting Spray up to 16-hour wear. This one is very comparable, honestly. But if I was to repurchase one, I'd go for this one because it's from that infallible range that I swear by. Whereas this one, it's okay, but it's not like bulletproof the way this one is. I feel like the L'Oreal ones, I just kind of associate them to be the more extreme versions of these Maybelline setting sprays. Although these Maybelline setting sprays are really good though, and I feel like I'm underrating them right now. They're actually really good. Like, they're affordable. They're really accessible at the drugstore. I really like the like giant chunky packaging. The misters on both of these brands are really good. Let me show you. Beautiful, good, well dispersed mist. Really rate that. And then let me show you the mister on this one. Again, a nice, well dispersed mist. She does the job. I swear by them all. Honestly, they're all good. I don't want to say I swear by them all. That sounds like really dramatic. They're all good. This one's probably Holy Grail status. Honestly, out of all of them, this one's my favorite. I think that's all of the like face-based products I want to talk about. I'm not going to talk about like little bits in this series, like eyeliners. These are so like whatever, you know, like they come and go. I feel like the more exciting things to talk about are like the big items, like the foundations, I don't know, they're just more exciting to me, so I want to talk about them. If you want me to talk about anything in particular though, let me know in the comments down below. I'm always down to like do anything that you guys are interested in. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching this video. Stay tuned because I'm going to do the bronzer version, the highlight version, the blush version, and I'll catch you next time. If you want to see more of me, you can find me on all my social medias at EmilyTeach20. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. Bye!